Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was earlier. And today is like a rainy day. I don't know if it's raining out right now, but it did rain when I was out earlier. So welcome to my YouTube channel. And I really hope you're getting out in nature somewhere. And I do know somebody that does watch my YouTube channel, and I'm so proud of her because she made a nature video. So yay! Or maybe a couple, so yes, that's what it's all about, is inspiring people in any way that you can to get people to come outside. And sometimes those videos are great for people that can't get out. So I'm really proud of you for doing that. And also, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight by leaving Starlight a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can also share my videos with your family or friends. I have a dog on my lap, so I'm going to say a dog. Joe's just kind of chilling out right now. So Joe's being a good doggy right now. I already gave Joe his doggy treats. Yeah, so anyway, and I'm going to say a squirrel. You could share my videos with a squirrel, and don't forget you could check out my playlist and find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K Ding Starlight. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of you. Yes, you. All of you who watch my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or even leave me a comment, or give me a thumbs up, or even share my videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I could not do this by myself. We need each other. See how this works? There's a lot of people in this world, they think they don't need anybody to make it through. No, but we do. We need each other to make it through. And so anyway, I do love you. And again, I'm going to announce, and even though it's after my birthday, is letting you know if there's anyone out there that would like to donate to this YouTube channel, because I am out here putting myself out and helping other people out. And I've met other people that wanted to help me out, but they couldn't because they didn't have cash on hand. So this is your opportunity for people that wanted to help before but couldn't because they asked, a lot of people would ask if I had Cash App. So now I do. So I do have Cash App, and so I will leave that information on this video. That way, if you'd like to donate, you can. And Starlight, can't we all use some extra love? So Starlight can definitely use some extra love. And also, if anybody wants to share any of their pets on my YouTube channel, you can do that by sending that on my Instagram or on my Facebook page. So anyway, here we are, and we're going to jump into this video. Are you out there spending money and buying things that you really don't need? Or you see something on the shelf, and I've seen a lot of people do this, is that they buy things, and what happens to those things? They buy so much that they forget what they buy, and it sits somewhere with the tags on it, and they're not even using it. And so many times this happens to so many people. They get in this, it's an addiction, and it's a part of a health issue, really. A lot of it stems to is people that a lot of times people have a hard time admitting that, because the way society is that we're, it's not the popular thing to be real. And that's why a lot of people wear a mask. If you ask people how they're doing, they say, I'm fine, which that's not really a good answer, right? Anytime I heard that word fine, that's it. Fine, that's all you are, is fine. So society taught us really to, act like we're fine when we're really not fine. We're not really doing good. We want to claim that, hey, the job is good. Hey, my relationship is good. And even when I went to church, they didn't want to really have me they didn't really want me to really say how I was really doing. Because believe me, I tested the waters out and it smacked me silly. I would go to church really looking for help, but didn't get any help. I didn't get the help that I was hoping to get. Instead, I ended up getting the kind of help I didn't want to get, was saying that I'm complaining about stuff. No, I was actually reaching out for help. I needed help. I was being real. And the way this world is in society, this is how it is that people we're all wearing some kind of mask. And so we wear this mask proclaiming that everything in our life is great, whether it is or not. And so, it is really sad in this world that, I pay attention to the videos that people click on and don't click on to on my YouTube channel. Any YouTube creator is going to see things that other people don't see. And, sometimes people will put a thumbnail or a title, but they never clicked it, they never checked it. They assume that they know already what that video is about. So there's a lot of times that people are missing out on things because they already think they got it all figured out in life. They already think they got it all planned. They already, because this is the way society is, as people that they think they don't need help. They think they got it all figured out. And so a lot of people are walking around not being real, not really feeling those emotions out, not really facing when shit is not cool, not being real and saying, I'm kind of scared right now at my workplace. I don't like what's going on, but I'm going to put a mask on and act like I'm tough and I'm all this and that, but I'm really not. Because I do know people right now that are going through some shit. I would have been like throwing the towel in and saying, what, I didn't sign up for this shit. I would have been like, no, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. Because now I can't sleep at night because it's causing me a lot of stress. How many of you been there, where your job is causing you more stress than what they're, really, and this is what God actually does with us a lot of times in life, is to put, because the society teaches us that we can handle everything. We don't need any help. It taught us it's not okay to say that, right now my life sucks and I'm not happy. We've been taught not to do that. Because why? Because nobody wants to hear that you're having a bad day, right? Why? Because everybody's having their own problems, right? So what ends up happening is that we end up burying those emotions. We don't ever bring them up to the surface and really deal with them face on. And that is what I've been doing on this mission here, is to deal with those emotions, not run away from those emotions. It's okay, that things are not going the way you planned or hoped for. It's okay that you're at a job and you're not happy. And, I know people right now that they're going through some shit and I would not put up with it. I would be like, what? I've had enough. This is, I've been going through all these hurdles. I've been chasing, going here, going there. It's crazy. Those kind of places, it does cause stress. But sometimes, what? Is that the people don't realize that it's all a trick, it's all a game. And they're falling for the game, they're falling for the trick. And you got to realize that it's causing a lot of stress that you might not even realize, because the society is showing you that don't tell anybody that things are rough. Because what? A lot of people don't want to admit that, hey, maybe I made the wrong choice in this company. Because ever since I started this company, I've been running. I'm just chasing that dollar bill, trying to prove to other people that I'm a hard worker. They already proved that part. But now, you know what? It's that there's people out there that are chasing that dollar bill so they can have money. You know, they want to match up with other people that have money. They're comparing themselves with other people. It could be their family. You know, they could be comparing themselves to other people and trying to show the world, hey, look at who I am. Look at what I can do. But inside, they're so stressed out. They're scared. They don't know what the next challenge is going to be, and is it really paying off? You know, is it going to really really help them out or add more stress? You know, and what kind of company do you work for? You know, is it a company that is helping out the planet in a good, positive way? You know, so these things you got to ask yourself. And, you know, is if there's more demands on your company or at a job that you work, wouldn't you think that you'd get more money? You know, some people just went through some horrible stuff. I would not put up with that crap. You know, I would be like, you know what? That was just too tense for me, and I'm not here. You know, something really bad could have happened to me in that situation. You know, so don't, you know, like, you got to really ask yourself, is this job really worth it? You know, and a lot of times people don't want to face those emotions that they're dealing with because they want to prove to the world that, you know, their life is great, even if it could be upside down. So you got to really be careful with that. And a lot of times people think that the way the world is by going out and living that dream, is going out and having the house, the car, and the family, and all that stuff. But if you're doing it and it's causing you more stress, it could cause so many problems inside of you that you might not even be able to enjoy your life with the house, the car, and the family. You know, or what if you're so busy working that you don't ever have time really to spend with your family? You know, and so you got to really be careful of going out and chasing that dollar bill. And are you, you know, it's a lot of people want to follow what the world is doing and by buying a lot of stuff. That's why they got this job. They got this job because they could have been brought up in a material family. And so there's people out there, they don't feel good unless they can go out and spend some money somewhere to buy something to make them feel good. And then they buy more stuff to make themselves feel good. But then they end up feeling empty at the end of the day. Because those things, after a while, they get old, and then you got to go out and buy more stuff. And now you're buying so much stuff that you don't even realize that you got stuff that you never even used. You know, and that is where you got to watch out. That's the trap. It's the trap to keep you pushing, keep you going at that job that really isn't serving you. But there's people that don't want to admit to that. They want to admit that, you know, hey, everything's going great because they were taught in society, even at churches, they believe, which is not always real, which is not always true. There's some people that they, you know, if they only knew, they could open up and be themselves and express themselves, and they would not get judged for that. But people are so afraid that they're going to get judged for saying, you know what, maybe I did screw up. Maybe I did take the wrong job. Or maybe I got in the wrong relationship. Maybe I did this, you know, and things didn't quite, you know, that is like, you know, a nightmare kind of thing. Like, what is everybody going to think? Is people going to judge me because, you know, I went and I, you know, left my home, I left my family to go somewhere, you know, and now I got to where I, you know, thought that's where I was supposed to be. And then I realized that it was all, you know, I just keep on running. I'm tired of running. I am so tired. You know, I am tired of, you know, oh, now I got to go there. After a while, it gets tiresome, don't it? You know, is that where you're always running to get that dollar bill? For why? Because society taught you that that's the way to go. Society taught you is, you know, having more stuff is the way to be. But then the stuff that you buy, you don't even realize you even have. And now those things that once meant something to you has no value to you anyway. Now you can't even return it back to the store because you don't, where did the receipt go? So now, it's easy to have a whole bunch of stuff, but now you're like, I haven't even wore those, and sometimes people might buy so much stuff that later on they might gain weight or something like that where it doesn't even fit them, or now they finally decide to wear them, but they're not even comfortable, because they, in a store when you try like shoes or boots on or whatever, you're only, really, how far are you walking with those things? That's why I don't there's certain, items that I would never buy online because it's something I need to try on. I don't want to order it online, get it mailed to my house, and find out, those sneakers are freaking uncomfortable. Or the shirt, they said it's small, and, I got it, or it said a medium, and when you got it in the mail, I'm swimming in it, or whatever, there's things I will not ever buy online. Well, I actually said that, but I have bought shirts online, but it worked out good where they actually fit. But most of the time I would never buy clothes online because I want to make sure the clothing fit me and I feel comfortable wearing them. So, and it's a shame that there's people out there that are trying to impress everybody else, and trying to say, hey, look at me, I am working. But, they're not really taking care of their emotional needs and their physical needs that they need, or take time out, to go out in nature, take time out and spend some time with their family, so you got to really be careful is, are you buying too much stuff? And why are you buying it? It's like a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid, and then you got to go out and buy more clothes. It's not really taking care of the problem that really is going on within. There's times that people are afraid to open up because they learned in life that they feel like they can't trust anybody to open up to. Nobody's going to understand them. And you're totally wrong. There are people out there that will listen to you and would love to help you out. But there's people out there that are crying for help, but they don't know where to go to because, they know if they go to their parents, they could, not get the kind of help that they really are searching for, or maybe their friends they don't want to open up to because they're afraid of what they're going to say, so it's really sad because it is like an addiction after a while, is to always think that I always have to go out and, hang on, I'm so sorry, it's the, I forget this, Robo vacuum cleaner is gonna make noises here. So yeah, stop trying to impress people, and really, you know what, if your job is causing you so much stress, you might want to let that job go. If it's just to get that money and to have more stuff that you're not even enjoying, and there's been many people that they end up having yard sales or giving stuff away, and it's stuff in brand new boxes. They never even had, they forgot all about it. And now that they've had it in their house so long, now it's not the way it was when it was on the shelf, There's times that, people get thinking that when they go out to a mall or go to a store and they're with other people, people will buy things to prove that they can afford it, that they can do it, when really they're struggling inside where they don't really want to buy it. They have that war inside of their head, part of their body says, I want that, and the other part's like, no, when am I ever going to wear those, boots? When am I ever going to use those? Where am I going to go? Are they really worth the money to buy those pair of boots? Where am I going to go? Those are really beautiful boots. And then they just sit and they get dusty. And then later on, it's not the same anymore. It's because people are not really happy within themselves. And, besides they could have gotten brought up in a family that had so much money and always was buying and buying and buying. So they got this addiction to always going out and spending money, whether they needed to or not. So really, the things that you're buying, really think, is it something that I really need? Is it something that I'm going to really use? Because if you're at the store or even online and you're like, I like it, but what am I going to wear with it? You know, what am I going to, you know, hang on, Starlight's got to get some water here. Because a lot of times, you know what? People need help. They need somebody to talk to. And that, you know, we all need somebody to talk to. There's times, this is a problem, is, you know, I made a video not too long ago, and some people, you know, they don't want to say they can't do something. There's sometimes that we really need to let go. You know, there's times that we got to let go. You know, there's times that we got to, you know, spend time with ourselves, get that alone time with ourselves. Sometimes there's people out there that they think that they can do it all on their own. I can do this on my own. You don't need to do this on your own. That's the problem. That's what society has taught us, that you got to do this on your own. You don't have to do this on your own. There are people out there that care so much about what you're going through. They understand. They're not going to judge you for what you're going through. But by saying that I can do this on my own, I don't need anybody's help, that's what society has done to all of us. I've been there my whole life, you know, thinking I can't count on anybody. But you know what? That is an old program. There's things that we need to do on our own, but there's things that we need help with. It's so, you know, but we got to find the right kind of people. You know, the right, you know, sometimes therapy. And getting out in nature. There's people, they don't go out in nature. They're missing out. They're afraid. They're letting fear hold them back. You know, they listen to other people, and they never go outside and enjoy nature. You know, is to get out for a hike. You know, and that is what they would be, you know, it would relieve so much stress in their body and their mind if they just would get out in nature somewhere and spend some time. So I love you so much. So, you know, stop following what everybody else wants you to do, or what you think that this is how the society is. And we all start off like that. We all think this is how it's supposed to be. The ones that have money, the ones that are buying stuff, and you know, a lot of people are thinking, oh, I want to be like those people that have money so I can buy more stuff. But why are you buying what you're buying? Are you wearing it? Or is it sitting in the closet somewhere getting dusty? Because a lot of people do this. They buy stuff they really don't need. To say that I can do this. I can do this. Then there's other people that never knew what it was like to have money, and they have a different battle, is to saying, I can do this. Some people need to back off by buying so much, and other people that feel like they lack need to go out and buy. Just do it, you know, just buy something. But if you're somebody that's always spending money all the time, you're going to be the one that needs to pull back and really sit with your emotions. I'm so sorry this thing is going to hit. I said it. So yeah, I forget these things do this. So it didn't knock my glass over. So yeah, there's, like I said, there's people that feel like they lack, they don't have enough. They're the ones that need to force themselves to go out, and not to force themselves, but to say, it's okay, I'm going to spend money on this right now today. I'm going to just do this, and God will bless them. There's other people that have so much and they buy it all the time. They're the ones that need to pull back and say, I need to let go, and God will bless them. So I don't know which side you are. Are you the one that feels like you can't afford that? You need to, you know, you need to go out and experience what it feels like just to buy something just because. But if you are somebody that is buying stuff all the time, it's, you know, like, and you got stuff and it's brand new and you haven't even opened up the box, you're the kind of type of person that needs to back off and sit with your emotions when things are not going good. don't run away from those emotions. So that's what a lot of people do, is they run away, by going out and, acting like they got to be tough, and going out to stores and buying stuff. Or there's other things that people do, like going out and having relationships with people and having sex, thinking that that's going to cover up the problem, or going out and drinking or smoking or cigarettes or drugs and alcohol, or listening to music that's not healthy for them, because they're running away from their emotions. So anyway, I love you so much. So think about it. Do you really need to buy all that stuff? Or is there something really going on inside that you really need to face so you can get healed? And that is really what you need, is to be honest with yourself and say, I am going through shit right now. I don't like what's going on at work. Or you might not like what's going on with your family. You might be afraid to face the things that are going on, or you don't know what to say or handle it. And maybe you feel like you gotta be there, you gotta stick through it, because you're afraid of what other people think or would think, if you broke up with somebody, like, So I love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share this video with your friends, your family. Let me see. An alligator and a beaver. Plus, you can check out my playlist, and you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you so much. If you need help, with stuff that you're going through, it's okay. We all need help. It's pride that gets in our way. Our ego gets in our way at times. And, there's times that, we have some things with our bodies that try to protect us. But sometimes we need to let that go and say, no, I do need help. I need somebody to talk to. I need to be real, There's times that we can be tough, and there's some times that we gotta face that, what, this is just too much for me. I'm just like, it's one thing after another with my, the place that I work, it's just that, no matter what I do, it's always gonna end up turning into something else. And I'm just getting so tired, and you might think that the money is worth it, but really isn't worth it. If you're putting your life in jeopardy for a company. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.